Hello, Virgo. Before we dive in, I just want to pause and say thank you. Thank you to everyone who's been here, who's been sharing, who's been opening up in the comments. I see you. I read your words. And I'm truly grateful we're building this space together. For those of you who are new, you're so welcome here. There's a reason this found you. Now, let's get into what's coming through. Okay, Virgo, stop everything and listen. I need you to really listen right now because something's been shifting, something quiet, something you might not have fully recognized yet. There's this person, you know who I'm talking about. Maybe you've been thinking about them, maybe you haven't. Maybe their name has crossed your mind in passing, or maybe they've been living there for a while now. And there's this feeling around them, this sense that something could be different, could be possible, could be real in a way you haven't allowed yourself to fully believe yet. But here's what I'm sensing. The possibility you've been feeling, it's not just in your head. There's something genuine happening here, something that's been building beneath the surface, something that might be closer to manifesting than you think. Stay with me, because I'm not here to promise you fairy tales. I'm not here to guarantee outcomes. I'm not here to tell you exactly what's going to happen and when, but I am here to tell you this. What you've been sensing about this connection, about this person, about the potential that exists between you, it's rooted in something real. Have you been feeling this? This pull towards something that scares you as much as it excites you? Let me know in the comments if this is already landing, because here's what keeps coming through. You've been waiting, maybe not consciously, maybe not in an obvious sitting by the phone kind of way, but in your heart, there's been this space, this opening, this quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, this could actually work. And you've tried to protect yourself from that hope. You've tried to be realistic, to manage your expectations, to not get too invested in something that might not happen. But the hope, it's still there. And here's the thing, that hope isn't foolish. It's not naive. It's not you setting yourself up for disappointment. It might actually be intuition. It might be your inner knowing, recognizing something that your logical mind hasn't caught up to yet. Because sometimes we sense things before we can see them. Sometimes we feel the movement before it becomes visible. Sometimes our heart knows something, our head is still questioning. And right now, there's a strong probability that what your heart has been sensing is accurate. Does this resonate? Because I keep picking up on this energy of alignment, like things are moving into place. Like circumstances that seemed impossible are becoming possible. Like barriers that felt permanent are starting to dissolve. Not because of force, not because you're pushing or chasing or trying to make something happen, but because it's time. There's this natural timing that exists in connections, this rhythm that can't be rushed, can't be forced, can't be controlled. And sometimes two people need to be in completely different places before they can actually meet each other in the right way. Sometimes distance is necessary. Sometimes separation creates the space for growth that makes reunion possible. Sometimes the right person at the wrong time just needs time to become the right person at the right time. And that's what I'm sensing here. Whatever this connection is, whatever history exists between you and this person, whatever has kept you apart or uncertain or waiting. The energy around it is shifting. Things that needed to happen for both of you, they're happening. Growth that needed to occur, it's occurring. Understanding that needed to develop, it's developing. And as that happens, as both of you evolve into more aligned versions of yourselves, the possibility of coming together becomes more real, not as a rescue, not as a fix, not as two incomplete people trying to complete each other, but as two whole people recognizing something genuine between them. Have you been noticing changes in yourself that feel like preparation for something? Drop a comment if this feels true, because here's what else I'm picking up on. You're different now than you were before. You've grown, you've healed, you've learned things about yourself, about relationships, about what you actually need versus what you thought you needed. And that growth, it matters, because the version of you that wanted this connection before might have approached it from need, from desperation, from please choose me, please see me, please validate me. But the version of you that exists now, you're approaching it differently. You're approaching it from wholeness, from clarity, from I see what this could be and I'm open to it, but I don't need it to feel complete. And that shift, that changes everything, because healthy connections don't form between two people who need each other to feel whole. They form between two people who are already whole and choose to share that wholeness with each other. And you're there now, or you're getting there. You're becoming someone who can receive this connection without losing yourself in it. Someone who can be vulnerable without being dependent. Someone who can hope without being desperate. And that's exactly the version of you that's ready for what might be unfolding. And here's what I want you to understand about this moment. The shift that's happening, the alignment that's building, the possibility that's emerging, it's not just about this person showing up differently. It's about you being ready to receive them differently. It's about you having done the work to recognize healthy love when it shows up. It's about you having built boundaries strong enough to protect what matters. It's about you knowing your worth deeply enough that you won't accept less than genuine connection. And when you're in that place, when you're grounded in your own value, the right people can finally reach you. The right connections can finally form. The right timing can finally align. Does this feel like where you are right now? Let me know in the comments, because I keep sensing there's been a shift in how you're thinking about this person, about this possibility. You're not obsessing the way you might have before. You're not constantly checking, waiting, hoping for signs. You're just aware that something exists, aware that potential is there, aware that if it's meant to unfold, it will. And that awareness without attachment, that's powerful. That's the energy that actually allows things to manifest. Because when you're desperate, when you're clinging, when you need something to happen to feel okay, you block the very thing you're trying to attract. But when you're open, when you're receptive, when you're willing to receive but not demanding it, space opens up. And in that space, things can actually move. So here's what I'm sensing about this specific connection, this specific person. There's been work happening on their side too. Work you can't see. Growth you're not witnessing. Realizations they're having in their own time, in their own way. And that work, it's bringing them closer to being someone who can actually show up for what you deserve. I'm not saying they're perfect now. I'm not saying all their issues are resolved. But I am saying there's movement. There's awareness developing. There's understanding growing. There's recognition emerging about what they walked away from, what they didn't appreciate, what they might have taken for granted. And that recognition, it changes how they see you, how they see this connection, how they see what's possible between you. Have you been sensing this feeling that something's different even though nothing obvious has changed? Comment below if you're picking up on this energy, because here's what I keep seeing. There's a probability that this person is going to reach out, or that circumstances are going to bring you together, or that an opportunity for reconnection is going to present itself. But here's what's important. When that happens, if that happens, you need to be clear about what you're actually available for. Not what you were available for before, not what you hoped for in the past, but what you're available for now as the person you've become. Because this isn't about going back to what was. This is about creating something new, something better, something built on who you both are now, not who you were then. And if this person shows up, they need to show up differently. They need to show up with awareness, with intention, with recognition of what went wrong before and commitment to doing it differently now. And you need to trust yourself enough to recognize the difference between genuine change and familiar patterns dressed up as growth. You've learned too much to accept surface level shifts. You've grown too much to settle for words without action. You've healed too much to go backward just because something feels familiar. So when this possibility presents itself, if it presents itself, take your time. Don't rush. Don't let excitement override discernment. Don't let hope silence your intuition. Stay present, stay grounded, stay connected to what you know you need. And if this person can meet you there, if they can show up in ways that honor your growth and match your energy, then maybe this is the moment everything shifts. Maybe this is when potential becomes reality. Maybe this is when two people who needed to grow separately finally come together as the versions of themselves that can actually build something lasting. But if they can't, if they show up the same way they always have, expecting you to accept less than you deserve, then you already know what to do. You've already learned that lesson. You've already walked that path. You've already survived that disappointment, and you don't need to repeat it. Does this feel aligned with where you are? Let me know in the comments. Because what I'm really sensing is you're in a powerful position right now. You're not waiting desperately. You're not hoping blindly. You're not sacrificing your peace for a possibility. You're just open to seeing what unfolds, open to receiving if it's real, open to walking away if it's not. And that openness from a place of wholeness, that's what allows miracles to happen. Not the kind of miracles where everything magically falls into place without effort, but the kind where two people who are genuinely ready finally find each other. The kind where timing that seemed off suddenly aligns. The kind where what felt impossible becomes not just possible, but natural. And if that's what's meant to happen with this person, it will, not because you forced it, not because you manifested it through sheer willpower, but because you became ready, because they became ready, because the circumstances aligned in a way that serves both of your growth. And if it's not meant to happen, if this person isn't actually capable of showing up the way you need, then something better is something more aligned, something more genuine, something that doesn't require you to question, to wonder, to hope against evidence, because you deserve that. You deserve connection that feels clear, not confusing. You deserve love that shows up consistently, not sporadically. You deserve someone who sees your value without you having to prove it constantly. And whether that's this person or someone else, it's coming because you're ready for it now. You've done the work, you've built the foundation, you've become someone who can recognize real love and receive it fully. And that's everything. So stay open, stay grounded, stay connected to your worth, and let what's meant for you find you.